Good morning, I'm Tips Mahoy and this is ArthIntel Morning Edition. Coming up, overnight Russian barrage kills 9 in Kyiv as air defense struggle with U.S. continues. Apocalyptic Inferno in Spokane. Fast-moving wildfire forces mass evacuations as homes burn and hospital is emptied videos. 3 killed after bomb detonated at Moscow restaurant, state media say. That plus a check of the weather across the country. A massive overnight Russian barrage killed 9 people and injured more than 30 in Kyiv, with Mayor Vitaly Klitschko calling it a horrific night for the city. President Zelensky said Russia fired 35 missiles and 185 attack drones, but Ukraine could only shoot down one of 27 ballistic missiles due to a dwindling supply of Patriot interceptors. The Donetsky district was hit hardest, with 7 deaths, as fires tore through apartment blocks across 5 areas of the capital. Zelensky says the interceptor shortage is costing lives and has renewed appeals to the Trump administration, though Trump said this week the U.S. has not agreed to let Ukraine build its own Patriot systems. A fast-moving wildfire dubbed the Old Trails Fire erupted near Airway Heights, west of Spokane, Washington, on Saturday, growing from about 100 acres to more than 3,500 acres in a matter of hours amid strong winds. Officials issued Level 3, Go Now evacuations across multiple zones as the fire crossed the Spokane River, pushed into residential neighborhoods, and threatened Riverside State Park. Multiple homes burned, a veterans hospital was fully evacuated along with a water treatment plant and wastewater facility, and an emergency shelter opened at Spokane Falls Community College. Governor Bob Ferguson has declared a statewide wildfire emergency and mobilized the National Guard, as the cause of the fire remains under investigation. Russian state media, citing security officials, say at least 3 people have been killed and 21 injured after a homemade explosive device detonated at an Italian restaurant in Moscow. The National Anti-Terrorist Committee says a woman carrying the explosives tried to enter the Baltsy Rossi restaurant on Kudrinskaya Square, but was stopped by a security guard, and the device then went off, killing the woman, the guard, and a visitor. Moscow's mayor, Sergei Sobyanin, called it a cruel act of terror which took human lives, but authorities have not said who they believe was the target. The restaurant, which was hosting a private function at the time, later apologized for an initial social media post claiming everything was safe on the premises. 3 people are dead and at least 7 wounded after a shooting Saturday afternoon at an In-N-Out restaurant in Twin Falls, Idaho. Police Chief Matthew Hicks confirmed there were fatalities, but could not give an exact number, while a city spokesperson told the AP at least 7 were injured. Hicks says the suspected gunman was found dead nearby, though his identity and motive remain unknown. Investigators, including the FBI, are now interviewing hundreds of people who were in the area at the time. ArthIntel Headline News is brought to you in part by Toolbox Development, AI web development and marketing. Learn more at toolboxdevelopment.net. We'll be right back. Ohio Republican Congressman Max Miller says he'll make a special announcement Sunday morning as pressure builds over whether he'll stay in his House race. According to police reports obtained by ABC News, Miller's ex-wife Emily Morno, daughter of Sen Bernie Morno, has alleged multiple incidents of physical violence during their marriage, including claims he threw her against a wall and once held a gun to her head. Miller has denied all the allegations and is suing Morno for defamation. The renewed scrutiny comes as an aug. 5 deadline approaches for Ohio Republicans to potentially replace him in the race against Democrat Brian Poindexter, with some Democrats calling for his resignation or an ethics investigation. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is making $35 million available to combat feral swine damage on agricultural lands, with Florida among 14 eligible states. The funding runs through USDA's feral swine eradication and control pilot program, part of a larger $105 million effort to continue the initiative for 5 more years. According to USDA, feral swine cause more than $3.4 billion in damage each year to farms, ranches, soil, water quality, and wildlife habitat, and can also carry diseases that threaten livestock and people. Selected partners will work with landowners on trapping, restoration, and training efforts. ArthIntel Headline News is brought to you in part by Toolbox Development, AI web development and marketing. Learn more at toolboxdevelopment.net. We'll be right back. With MLB's AUG, Three-trade deadline just days away, ESPN's Kylie McDaniel and Jeff Passan have released an updated list of the top 100 trade candidates. Among the biggest names, the Padres dominant closer, given just a 20% chance of being dealt. But according to the report, the team is exploring a move if their season doesn't turn around soon. He comes with 3 more years of club control, and potential suitors reportedly include the Yankees, Mariners, Phillies, Brewers, Pirates, and Rays. Other notable names on the list include Nationals shortstop C.J. Abrams and Angels infielder Zach Neto, both drawing interest despite lingering questions about their defense. A year after opening his first training camp with talk of the Super Bowl, Jets coach Aaron Glenn is singing a different tune following a 3-14 season. This camp, Glenn says there are no slogans, no hype speeches, just a focus on improvement after what he calls a humbling rookie year full of mistakes and blind spots. Glenn has overhauled half his coaching staff, including firing his offensive and defensive coordinators, and will now personally call the plays on defense. With his name appearing on preseason coaching hot seat lists, Glenn says he's better equipped this time around after bringing in experienced hires like offensive coordinator Frank Reich and quarterback Geno Smith. Jake Cronenworth delivered a 2-out single in the 9th inning to score Xander Bogaerts, giving the San Diego Padres a 6-5 win over the San Francisco Giants on Saturday night. It's San Diego's 7th win in 8 games, keeping them a game back of the 3rd NL wildcard spot. The Padres needed the late heroics after Oslevis Basse hit a 2-run double off all-star closer Mason Miller with 2 outs in the 8th to tie the game at 5. Bogaerts led off the 9th with a double, and after Fernando Tatis Jr. was intentionally walked, Cronenworth came through with the game-winning hit. The New England Patriots are dealing with a rare problem in training camp: too much talent at wide receiver. 7 receivers, led by A.J. Brown and Romeo Doubs, are competing for roster spots, the deepest the position has been since 2007. That depth has put 2025 starter Keyshawn Bout on the outside looking in, with sources close to Bout saying he'd welcome a trade if the right situation came up. Coach Mike Vrabel says the team will look to improve the roster, whether that's by adding draft capital, obtaining a player, or keeping the guys we have. ArthIntel Headline News is brought to you in part by Toolbox Development, AI web development and marketing. Learn more at toolboxdevelopment.net. We'll be right back. And finally, here's a look at temperatures across the country right now. It's hottest in Phoenix at 94 degrees, while Seattle is the coolest spot on the board this morning at 57. That's ArthIntel Morning Edition for now, 10 stories coast to coast. I'm Tips Mahoy for ArthIntel, Signal Over Noise. Help us spread the signal. Please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. For complete stories and extra insights, visit arthintel.com.